Hello, morning everyone. All right. So I have decided to take this session on understanding how we can work on the lightning environment because our the training which we have taken, although is classic, Salesforce classic, mostly the navigation what you have understand uh, is belongs to the classic environment. So we can say that we are almost well versed with this environment. We know how to find out the things and how to create and how to work on the controls with this environment classic, but you must also be aware about the lightning environment as well, right? Usually people are migrating their day-to-day work in Salesforce, and they are migrating towards the lightning. So we must also be aware of this, right? Must also be aware of the lightning environment. Moreover, there are there are a few of the things which are only available in the lightning environment, and which typically is you cannot build up that thing, the classic. There are a few of example which if I can give you is the lightning flows. Cannot build up a lightning flows in the classic environment. Then the lightning dashboards, and there are other few other things. There could be few other things as well. These are some of the examples by which you can can understand that there are a few features of the Salesforce which can be built up, which can be applicable. You can work on that feature, particularly when you are onto the lightning environment, like flows and lightning dashboard. Although you know what is a dashboard, you have worked doing the analytics, but that was classic dashboard. There's another form of dashboard. When you are making a dashboard in the lightning environment, whereas if you are making it in the classic environment, the appearance is a bit different between. So there are a few of a kind of features in the Salesforce which are only available in the lightning environment. So that is why it's really important. That's why it's really important that you should be aware of this. And moreover, in our day-to-day life, uh, we are completely migrated towards the lightning environment. Now for your relief, I'll say that there is not a much differences between these two. I could say, only the front end part mostly has been changed. But internally, and you will going to realize this, you're going to realize this. Internally, there are a lot of the things which, still appears like how it appears in the classic environment. So there is not a much differences between lightning experience and classic version of Sage. And that is what we are trying to identify in today's session. All right. So first of all, if you are onto the classic and you wanted to switch on the lightning, there is a link called switch to the lightning experience, as you can see over here on the screen. I'll just try to highlight it. So I'm not using mouse, so that will be a little tricky. But yeah, you can see this. So there is a link called switch to the lightning experience. Now by using this, we can definitely migrate ourselves from classic to the lightning. I'm doing the same thing. So I made a click onto this switch to the lightning experience. And now this interface, what we are looking right now, something called as a lightning interface. All right, it's called as a lightning interface. You can close out these pop-up. That is the sort of information, but we can definitely close it out. Now, I will try to cover almost everything which I have taught you within the classic version. For example, if I have taught you like how you can create a custom objects and the custom fields, how you can work on the reports and the dashboards, how you can work on for example, the security parts, right? I just try to cover everything. Although I'm not going to create, I'm not going to create like the, or maybe I can create. Let's talk this on a discussion. I will try to navigate you on almost everything which I have taught you within the classic version. Within the classic version. So now let's first of all start with the app launcher, right? And I'll do one more thing. No, I don't think that's required. Yeah. So let's start with the app launcher, application launcher. For example, if you wanted to make a switch between applications, like presently, if you are onto the sales cloud, you wanted yourself to migrate to service cloud, or you have your own custom application, right? We know how we have created the custom applications in Salesforce. We're going to see like here as well how we can create the custom application. That is also we're going. And I guess that was the very first thing what we have during our classic training. The first thing what we learned is how we can create a custom application and how many of them we can create in the developer edition and everything. That was a governor limit what we have. So with the developer edition, if you remember, maximum we could create 10 custom applications, not more than that. But for an unlimited edition, there is no limit. There's no limit. Literally, you can create as many number of applications as you want. So let's first of all try to understand how we can navigate to a app launcher where you can migrate from one application to the another application, and you can select on which application you want it to work. So guys, if you can see, I'll just try to highlight everything. Just try to highlight everything so that, and these things are getting recorded as well. You can see all these dots on the top left corner of the screen, right? You just would require to make a click onto this, right? You would require to make a click on this. See, I mean, if I would put my cursor over here, immediately it would give me an help text. This is an app launcher. Now it would try to list out the recently used application. To try to list out all of the recently used applications. But for example, by any case, if you won't find the application you are looking for is not being listed out over here, the name of an application which you are looking for is presently is not into the list, then what you'll do? So there is a small link at the bottom of this box, view all. So what you can do is like, either you can select an application of your choice from here, or if the application what you are looking for, you are searching for is not present over here, you can definitely search it out. There is a search box. Otherwise, if you don't know the application name, how will you going to search? Obviously. So what you can do is like, you can simply click on the view all. So this is something called an app launcher, as you can app launcher, and it will give the list of all of the applications, right? It will give the list of all applications you have created. Now, I would ask you one question, or rather, I'll let you know about one. I'll let you know about one. See, these all are the name of the application, right? But if you remember, we have created a few of custom applications in the classic version. So I just wanted to see the name of that. So I'll do one thing. I'll switch myself back to the classic, and I'll switch myself back to classic. Now see, there's an application called 208 HR management, and there was one more called Merck Incorporation. So these were two custom applications we created. And we can see these are visible over, right? In the app launcher section, this is app launcher. You can see the name of 208 HR management and Merck Incorporation. Now, when I try to see the same in the light, if I go to the app launcher, and here if I would try find out something called as the Merck Incorporation, or maybe a 208 HR manager, we don't see the name, don't see those names. Why? So the reason of this is, Salesforce maintains two separate versions of application. If you want, you can note it down. Otherwise, the things are getting recorded. So obviously, It's a simple concept. You can keep it in your mind. I don't think this is required that you should write it down. You can simply keep this in mind. It's a small thing. Salesforce have two different versions of applications. If an application, if you have created this on the classic Salesforce Classic, you will not going to find that application in the Lightning version. And vice versa as well. I mean, if something is created on the Lightning, you have created an application on Lightning, particularly, you will not going to see that. You're not going to find it inside the classic version. So classic presents a different form of application, whereas Lightning presents a different form of application. And most of the things, I guess, like, we can, if you have even created it in the classic, you're going to find it in the Lightning and vice versa. Like if you have created a workflow or a process builder, or maybe an object, custom object, or maybe a custom field, if you have created, you're going to find it. You can find it in the both version. But there are a few things which I just like, I just have told you that there are a few of the things which are only available with the Lightning. Or I can say, I can just twist my statement to like, there are a few of the things, if you have created this on the classic, you're not going to find it in the Lightning. If you have created it on the Lightning, you're not going to find it on the classic. Application is one of them. Reports and dashboard is second of them. Flow always available on the Lightning only. So you would going to realize when you started working on the Lightning experience, you would realize this, that Lightning presents a different form of application. Lightning presents a different form of application. So in this app launcher, you will going to only see the Lightning applications, whether that's a standard application like sales, service, marketing, right? Or maybe it's a custom application, but that should be a custom Lightning application. If it's a custom classic application, you will not going to find it, right? So this is like, this is how we first of all make ourselves. Like if I have selected service, I'm going to, I would be landing onto the service application. This is how, or sales or marketing or in your own custom application. Now that was the first, right? For how we can navigate ourselves, how we can move between application to application. That was about app launcher. And there are a few other common entities like this is the tab bar. This is the tab bar. And for example, if you wanted, to bring or remove certain things from here, how you can do that, how you can customize this tab bar. For that, is a small icon over here, why it's not showing us here at upgrade, so that you can personalize it. There's a small icon over here by which I could personalize my tab bar. Ask your admin to upgrade this app to the Lightning experience. It has already been updated. I will get to you this why we cannot see that icon by which we can customize the tab bar. I'll just see to this. I'll come back onto you on this, right? So customization of tab bar is obviously a pending thing. I will let you know why. There is a small, there might be, this might related to small settings, which I'll have to enable. I'll have to first Google them, then see why this is happening. Okay, so let's talk about the second thing. Now let's start with how you can create maybe a custom application or a custom object or a field, how we can do those things. Now, for example, if you wanted to create a custom application of your own, how you can do that. So the first thing is like, you have to go to the setup menu. Where do you find it? Because in classic, there was simple a word called setup. Here, there is no setup, SETU. There's nothing like that, but rather there is a gear icon. You can see I have highlighted top right corner on the top right of the screen. You can see this is a gear icon. Now this gear icon represents the setup, right? Click onto this. If you put your cursor, it would going to highlight a name as well, setup, as you can see. Now click onto that. It would eventually open a drop down box. Here there are like setup, service setup, developer console. If you wanted to do programmings, we usually migrate ourselves to the developer console, right? There was, I mean, in the classic, there was a separate link for that. No, there was not separate link. It was under certain menu over there. Here as well, but here it is inside in this developer console. You are aware about this. And then edit the page as well. I'll come to this. The edit page you're going to learn. I'll tell you about the lightning pages. There. Now, the first is like, you click onto this and go to the setup menu, by the way. So on the left side, as you can see, one separate section has been opened. This is something called as setup. This is something called as setup. Here there are quick finds, right? And then that's something called as an object manager as well. So this is what is a setup looks like to me. Now see, in more classic, in classic mostly we have what to say. I haven't told you to use the quick find, although there was a quick find also over there, but I have suggested that not to use that because I wanted you to understand the whole navigation process. Like if you wanted to create an application, where should you? And we learned that there were 4 major menus over there: administrator menu, build menu, monitor menu, right? Developer or whatever it was. But there were 4 menus, and we have learned in a way like we have not used quick find over there. And we just navigated, thoroughly on everything. So if you wanted to, for example, if you wanted to create maybe a workflow, so how you are going to create that? You go to setup, you go to edit, you go to workflows and approval, and then inside in workflows and approval, you're going to find workflow as an option, process builder as an option. We just try to elaborate, and I just try to elaborate every navigation over. But in Lightning, once you know all this whole thing in the classic, in the Lightning, you can make it short, or it is advised over here. It is rather advised over here not to go thoroughly into every navigation. Rather, you can just find it out with a quick find. That makes the life easy. So I wanted to create an application, so I just have created app. I just have typed app over here. So you will going to see all of the options where there is a word called as app, where there's a word called as app, where there's a word called as app. All right. So, and you for this you would require to go to the app manager. The app manager. Just make a click onto this app manager. So it would give you the list of all the applications, right? It would give the list of all the applications, right? There is even 208, and you could even find the Merck Incorporation. You can even find the Merck. But then if you would observe one thing, it is mentioning that this is a classic application. This one is a Lightning application. This one is a Lightning application. Merck Incorporation, as you can see, is a classic application. And there are a few of the application which, even though if that is a classic application, that is visible in the Lightning. Do you see this? Do you see there is a small check? Well, I'll just try to highlight it. Just try to. Okay. So this means visible in the Lightning. So there are a few of the application which, although is classic, like Analytics Studio, it's a standard application. App Launcher is a standard application. All right. Then you can see Community is a standard application. So although it's a classic, but that is visible in the Lightning. What about your application? Bash 208, 208 HR management. This is a classic application. You created this application in the Salesforce Classic. Is it visible in the Lightning? Answer is no. Answer is no. Right. So this is what, this is what does it mean. There are certain applications which are visible in both of them. And basically those are standing. Like if you talk about Marketing Cloud, this is a standard application. It is available in the Classic although, but it is also visible in the Lightning as well. So this is what you have to understand from these all checkboxes and these 2 columns. Now, if you wanted to create your own application, one custom application, one Lightning custom application, there's a button over here, New Lightning App. New Lightning App. Let me do one more thing. I'll just try to side by side. I'll just try to open one another batch so that you can compare this to environments. When I'll say that mostly the internal pages are same in Classic and in Lightning. So I just wanted you. So we'll go to setup and then we'll go to build. We go to create and we go to the app. And this is the way you can. This is the way you can create a new application. This is the way you can create a new application. So I'll click on the new button. What do you want? A custom application? Yes, of course. I'll not creating a console. Custom application, right? Okay. Now let me do the same thing in the Lightning as well. So I'm in Lightning. I wanted to create a new application. There's a button, new Lightning app. I just have clicked onto this. See, it would ask me all these details. Here in this page, here in this, not page, first of all, this is a component. This is a component, right? The major difference between Lightning and Classic is in Classic, everything load as a page. I'll show you this. You see, you concentrate on this. This is what is called as URL. All right. I'll just take you back. See, when you are onto this particular interface, it was a complete page, although. And don't you realize one thing over here? Like if I make a click every time, every time your URL is going to be get changed because it would load pages, right? So when I click on this new button, see the whole URL has been changed. This means what? A complete page has been loaded. And see, this is the reason why Classic is comparatively slower as compared to your Lightning. Why Classic is comparatively slower as Lightning? Why? Because in Lightning, everything what comes onto the screen in the form, the page is not getting changed, right? I'll just stop it. I just closed it out. Let me close this. Yeah. Yes, because you just concentrate onto this, this URL. If I would make a click onto this button, what do you see? URL is same. URL is still same. Only one component has been added to the same URL. That means the major difference why Lightning is fast and why Classic is slow. Let's compare that. In the Classic version of Salesforce, if you wanted to, you wanted to grab something, like for example, if I would make a click on this custom label, it would eventually load a complete page. All right. That complete page has been fetched. A whole web page has been fetched from the sales from the server. I'll click onto the app. See, the URL is changing. And this is the first page. This is the first page which has been loaded. When I click onto the new, another page which is getting loaded. When I select this custom app, and this is very inefficient. See, this whole page does not contain anything apart from these two options. Don't you feel this is what to say? This is very inefficient way of user interfaces, right? This whole page has been loaded just to get two radio buttons, and you can select one of them. This could be customized more. But because see, Salesforce is not making any changes in the Classic version. Everything what is coming inside Lightning. That's why you will find it. And when I click onto this next button, I can see another page has been loaded. So majorly see what happens in Classic, everything is in the form of pages. When you make a click onto something, a whole page is loaded. Okay, we do have excellent speed of internet over. But what about if we are, for example, if we are accessing this whole thing with a limited bandwidth network, this obviously makes a very great inconvenience that time. Because loading a complete page would require a more amount of time. Very obviously, we all can understand this. We don't have to be a network engineer to understand this. Because when you page a load, when you load a page, when you load a page, but what really happens is like, although you see the same thing every time, but from this corner to this corner, everything is loaded. Everything, which includes your header sections, It is not changing, so we are not realizing. I mean, in the previous page and in this page, both of them are same. So we don't realize. We feel that it is not being changed, and what we feel is like only this area is getting loaded. This area is getting changed. So what we feel, okay, this part is changing. No, it's not like that. It's not like that. Everything is loading, everything which is onto this page is getting loaded. Everything onto this page is getting loaded. And because your tab bar, your this setup menu, and your header sections, your footer section, they are not getting changed. So that's why you don't realize any changes over there. But although internally what is happening is like, this complete page is getting loaded every time. Every time. If I click onto this previous button, this whole page, this whole page is re-rendered. Something called as re-rendering. This whole page is rendered. This is what is happening internally. So Classic, that's the reason, is bit slower as compared to Lightning, because in Lightning, there's only, page is loaded only once, and now everything what you ask, that comes in a form of component. Right now, these are Aura components, but soon they are going to be internally, Salesforce is converting them in the Lightning Web Component or LWC. Right now, these are Aura components. Right now, most of them are Aura component, but Salesforce, yes, Salesforce has started converting them in the Lightning LWC. Because LWC is Salesforce own, right? Salesforce own this LWC. That's a part of Salesforce. Lightning Web Component is a part of Salesforce. Aura is an open technology. Aura is an open technology. So this is what basically is happening around the Salesforce these days. People over there are converting every interface from Aura to Lightning. And so see, even though, when you would come to the Lightning training, my suggestion would be, if you directly learn LWC, it's not going to create any harm in your career if you don't know the Aura. Like, see, when we started that time, Aura was a major thing. LWC was just started. And that was not, LWC was in a beta version, I could say. There were so many things around that time which were not available in LWC. So many things that was not available in LWC. So we have to learn Aura as well. But today the scenario is changed. It's almost everything you can design. What you can create on Aura can also be created in the LWC. So if you guys would directly learn LWC, I don't think like, it's going to create any harm. Like in the upcoming days, I'll predict, you can understand, you can relate this with this example. If in the upcoming days I would just as a part of business automation, if I would just teach Lightning flows, and I'm not going to teach workflows and process builder, it wouldn't create any harm. For you, it's not, obviously you have learned that. I'm talking about my future batches. If let's say in the upcoming batch, if I isn't part of business automation, if I will just taught them, if I'll just teach them uh, Lightning flows, that would be okay. Why? Because everything what you can create with a workflow or maybe a process builder, you can even create that in the Lightning flows, and even more beyond that, right? So this is what is the thing is. Like, anyways, so see, if you can see on this, like on this particular component, or you can call this as a dialog box in simple, you get everything. You get the application name, what you wanted, developer name who is creating this, that must be a user, by the way, and user inside in this org. Then you can upload the image in this as well, right? And there are a few things as well. Here what it is like, on the first page you don't get all these options. Let's try to understand the differences. I would first of all would create a Lightning application, right? My first Lightning application. I'm just giving the name. My first Lightning application. Now it has taken the developer name by itself, right? That is just an API name of it. So in the API name, all the spaces are being replaced with underscore, and at the end of this, although we're not going to see it over here, but at the end of this, underscore C is going to be appended, right? Now I can upload an image. You can give a description if you want it. You can give a description as well. That is an optional thing. You can, if you want, you can give. You can, if you don't want, you can skip that. We have any? You must have. So let me just try to get some. But 201, I guess we'll have it. All right. I would just take this image. So the image has been uploaded, right? So I guess this is something new. Use the app image and color instead of or custom. I'm not sure what it is, but I guess this option we don't have in the classic. I haven't used that, so I'm not sure what is the actual purpose of this. Anyway, I'm skipping that. Go to the next button. Then standard navigation console. No, this is a standard application. It's not a console application. This is about, like, where do you actually want it to use this application, where this application is going to get launched. So you can see that navigation factor means what type of application. We also know that there are two different forms of application: custom and console. So this standard means it's a custom application. It is not a console application. Then form factor means where do you want it to see this application? Because in Lightning you can create an application specifically for the phone, or specifically for the desktop, or you can keep it customizable. You can keep it. This is something called as responsive. So when you create an app, if I would select this, which is a default option, desktop and phone. So this application becomes something called as responsive application. And according to the device which you are using, from where you are accessing, it would going to adjust the form factors. So form factor actually means the length and the width of application. Length and width of the application. This is what the form factor means. So I'm selecting, if I'm specifically designing it for phone, obviously I'm going to select this option. If I'm specifically wanted this application should be only accessed with a desktop, so I would be selecting this. But if I wanted to make it responsive, I'm going to go with this option, which actually is a default application. Now in the setup, you have seen that there were two options: service setup and setup, right? So I'll keep it on service. I'm keeping it on general, which is setup, which would be full setup, right? If I would select the service, it would only going to give the features of Service Cloud and not other things. Then there are a few other personalization settings, like disable end user personalization and temporary tabs. I'm not sure what it is for. You can go and Google this. I have not used this. I'll click on to the next button, and utility bar. Add utility items on utility bar is fixed footer. Fixed footer section that opens component in the dock panel. Okay. If you wanted to add something in the footer, right? So you can definitely, I guess you can add it from here. If you wanted, for example, you wanted to add chatters, you wanted to add, for example, histories or something in the footer, you can add it. Otherwise, this can be customized later on as well. I'll show you this while we understand how we can edit a Lightning page, right? So right now we would just go with the default settings, and this utility items, I'll show you like how we can add it later as well. So see, the navigation items means your tab bar. So if you're getting an application, if somebody would click onto that, what are the tabs that you wanted to include, right? So I would just select it, like accounts I wanted in my tab bar, the application, and I wanted, for example, I guess you can search this as well. Yeah, definitely. So I wanted to have like contacts, I'm not using mouse, so it becomes a little tricky. Let's say I wanted to add opportunities as well, opportunity. And I wanted to have like case. Okay. And of course, reports and dashboards as well. So I'll just add those things. Reports I wanted to add. I also wanted to see the dashboards. Okay, I shall start with this, and I'll show you like how we can edit the tab bars as well. So don't worry. So these are some of the basic tabs which I have decided, like this should appear. Now the next thing is about profiles. Which profile should have the access on this application? You wanted this to be get available on everyone, so you can select all of them. You can say there is although no direct option. You will have to select it, manually for everything. We have certain custom profiles. If you would remember, we have created certain custom profiles as well, and we can include that. Otherwise, I'll make it available for sysadmin. I'll make it available for sysadmin as well. Right. So these are some of the profiles which I have given on the access. You can select selectively. You can make this, or otherwise you can select all of them. So this application would be available to all these profile. Anybody who is apart from this profile will not going to have the access. And see, this is not one-time setting. Remember, always remember, whatever we are doing right now, that is editable. You can revert it, you can add on. So if you have selected certain profiles right now, but in the future, if you wanted to remove anything from here, or maybe you wanted to add, is absolutely customizable, right? In the tab as well, you have selected a few of tab right now. So in the future, we can remove, we can add it. Everything what we are doing, that could be customizable. Save and finish. So now we have one more application. We have just created one application called My First Lightning app, right? And it is a Lightning application. As you can see, it would not going to be available on the Classic, right? It's visible on the Lightning itself. So I'll just try to find it out. So once again, it'll go to the app launcher, right? And I try to type it but as you can see, it's listing out that, right? My First Lightning application. This is the one way. Otherwise, if you don't find it over here, you can go to the list of all applications. And here you can find out that My First Custom application, right? So these are the two ways. Now I have just logged in into the application. You can see accounts, contacts, opportunities, cases, reports. And this was the icon which I was telling about. Now, for example, if I wanted to customize this tab bar, but here it is called as navigation, right? Here it is called as navigation. The tab bar, you can say the tab bar, it's not an issue. You don't have to think about KR every time I'll have to learn this whole terminologies and all. It's good to learn, it's good to learn. But even though if you would call this as a tab bar, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Navigation bar, tab bar, it's one and same thing. Yeah, it's one and same thing. All right. So I just make a click onto this and see these are the present tabs. Now, for example, if I wanted to add something, so there's a button, add more items, right? Go to the list of all, and for example, let's try to add maybe an author. I would add maybe a book. I would add book and author, and I shall add like campaigns. I will add and candidates. Let's try to add all those. So this would give an idea that if an object or a tab you have created in the Classic, that objects tabs could be added. So this differentiation is not related to object and their tabs. So let's try to find that position as well. Hiring manager, we also A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Hiring manager, right? So these all are the tabs which I have added, and you can you can scroll it up and down. Of course, you can scroll it up and down like this, right? If you wanted to make the changes in the position, you can do it like this and save it. Now you're going to see all these over here, all these. One thing I'm giving you the assignment at this moment. Please write it down. I'm giving you one assignment at this moment. I can give you the answer right now, but I am giving you this for the assignment. I have told you like how you can add certain more tabs. I would give you the assignment, for example. Oh, that's pretty simple thing. How to remove that? Right? But yeah. But let me talk about. Yeah, I can give you that. See, dashboard. As you can see, dashboard is a standard application. All of the standard objects, not application, objects like account, contact, cases. These all are the standard objects, isn't it? Right? For example, if you wanted to remove this from, for example, if you wanted to remove contact opportunity from the tab bar, so this is an assignment. This is an assignment for you. How you can remove these objects, standard, these tabs, not object, these tabs from the tab bar, from the navigation bar. Because you would not see this option crossover. This is only available for your custom objects. You can remove this. If you don't want, you can simply remove and save. You will not going to see the author. So that is possible, right? That is possible with the custom tabs. But what about the standard? For example, if I don't wanted to see the opportunity or case, how would I remove? So this is an assignment for you. This is an assignment for you. There's a hint, you have to go to user interfaces. There's a hint, you have to go to user interfaces for that. But I wanted you to find out the exact navigation. Take this as an assignment. All right. So what we have learned so far. First, app launcher. The first thing what we learn is how to get onto the correct application. Second, how we can create a custom application. Third, how we can add and remove the tabs from the custom from the tab bar or from the navigation bar. But this, the removing part which we have seen is only for the custom tabs. If you wanted to remove any standard object tab like account, it's a standard object, the tab name is accounts. Contact is a standard object, the tab name is contacts. And let's say for you have included all them. Now you don't want it to see the how to remove that is an assignment. All right. So let's compare this. For example, if you are creating an application in the Lightning or in Classic, see what is the difference. The first page was this. On the second page, the first page, I just have entered the details. Second page is selecting the image. Now I'm giving you the, you already have this command. You guys can unmute yourself. Tell me what is the difference between uploading an image for an application from Classic and uploading an image in the Lightning. So because in the Lightning, you just have uploaded. What is the difference that you see between uploading an image for an application in Classic and uploading an image for an application in the Lightning application? What is the difference?
First, in Classic, first we are supposed to upload the image in document. Then we can add to the wallpaper.
Exactly. Absolutely right. And second, I'm going to tell. So when you are uploading an application, an image in Classic, if you remember, you first of all have to upload it inside an object called document. And if you are going to use it, if you are using this as a logo, particularly, there even was a governor limit related to size. That was 20 KB. That was 20 KB. And you see, difference is like, if I am clicking this, I got to see this dialog box, and these are showing me all those images which are there in the document object. You are not getting a Microsoft uploader over here. Whereas over here, when we have created this, it was a Microsoft uploader. I have uploaded to, you probably have observed that I have directly uploaded this from this folder inside in my drive, right? I have directly uploaded this from here. Yahan se directly I have uploaded that. So that is a difference. When you upload an image in Lightning, it opens a Microsoft uploader. You can directly upload it from your computer, from your drive, from your folder. Whereas in the Classic, you first of all have to upload this into document, and from document you have to access. That to be there is a governor limit, but that is only related to logos, right? That is only related to logos. If you are using an image as a logo, it cannot exceed 20 KB, cannot access 20. Now, the second assignment. Can I upload an image in Lightning which is more than 20 KB? Can I upload an image in Lightning and I can use this as a logo of an application which is beyond 20 KB? This is your assignment. Please take it. Please write it down. I'm just trying to give you the topics for your own research. You have complete day for this whole thing. I wanted you, if somebody got the answer, please, please share it in our group. All right. So I would be selecting that image and I'll have to just select it from document object only. That to be of within 20 KB. Within 20 KB. The next is this. It has uploaded one separate page. Every time it is uploading a page. All right. Every time it is uploading a page. Whereas when I was doing this for this, it was just all the part of component, right? The page has not been changed. Even though if you see that it was it was getting changed from one interface to another, but the whole interface, that all four things were the part of same component. Here it is something which already is a page. I mean, everything is a page. Then next, once again a page, and it would ask you like what profile should have the access to this application, that you can select. And finally you save and you create an application. So that was not really quick, rather it takes more navigation. And although every time when I was coming backward or forward, it was loading a page. So this is how like you can create an application in Classic and like in the Lightning. That was about application first. Second, now let's understand how we can create an object. You know this. You know how to create the custom objects. You have to again go to create and then objects. All right. So this is the way you can create a custom object from here, new custom object. Now let me show you the same thing. Once again, click onto the gear icon for the setup menu to access the setup. Then go to over here. Then click on quick find and type objects. It will give you all these options, right? It will give the options. Then you have objects and the fields. Select object manager. Select object. Now these all are the application. It would list out your standard as well as custom. And you can find it from here, right? This is a standard object, this is a custom. It would list out all of the applications, all applications what you have. It would eventually going to list it out. Now, what about creation? So there is a button over here, or rather a drop-down menu. So when you click it, it would ask for custom object from the spreadsheet. So this is something like, it's an additional option. If you have a CSV file where it has been mentioned about the name of the object and a few other properties, the API name and profile access and everything. So this is another option by which just uploading an Excel sheet can also create an object in Salesforce, and which is definitely is not available in Classic. If you wanted to have a research onto this, you can take this. Otherwise, generally what we do is like, we create it by our own, because that spreadsheet, that Excel file, that CSV file is again have to be very much formatized, and even a single dot could create a difference over there. But yes, some people do that as well, right? They create it from the spreadsheets. So they create it from the spreadsheets as well, but we're not going to follow that, right? I would be rather creating it from directly the navigation, what Salesforce provides. Custom, I have created on the custom. So see, this is the page, right? Okay, and now let's compare this with new custom object button. When I click this, I would be going to land on this. And let's now see. See, there are a lot of similarities, isn't it? There are a lot of similarities into this. There are a lot of similarities into this. Don't you think that? There are a lot of similarities between this page. Like, on the top, it has been written new custom object here as well. Then there is some information is being displayed here as well. And the options, what you see on this page, in the sequence, in the same sequence rather, they are also available over here in the same sequence. So that I was trying to explain. There are a lot of the thing. Only the front end has been changed, and the back end is still same. So I'm talking about every such entity which you can create in Classic and as well as in Lightning. They are same. They are absolutely same. Like creating a custom object or a custom field. The navigation, what you finally get is same between Classic and Lightning. Only the front end has been changed, right? Only the front end has been changed. Every such thing, see, every option what you get over here is same as you already have seen that in the Classic. So that was about how you can create a custom object. I'm not going to create any new, rather this is same. So this is same because that's the reason I'm not. Now let's move on to how we can create a custom field. So I'll go to the hiring manager object, and in the Classic, how you do it, like you expand the post.com quick access menu, you go to either view fields or you click onto this new button. So this is like how you manage to create a new custom field inside an object. This could be a standard object as well. In the standard object, there's a slight differences. I mean, if you are onto the account, right? If you are onto the account, you can click onto you first of all, right? You go to view fields, or rather, you can directly go to the new. No, it's same. It's same. Sorry, it's same. If you are creating a custom field inside standard object, or else if you are creating this custom field inside a custom object, the process is same, right? The process is same. Okay, let me now try to do the same thing in the Lightning version. I'm just closing out all these extra interfaces, right? So I'll cancel this. I'll cancel this. I wanted to create a custom field inside hiring manager. What I'm going to do would be like, let me take you to the setup first of all. You are over here. You are over here. Let's say you are over here. You are onto the setup menu. You wanted to create a custom field inside an object. An object name, let's say, is hiring manager. What you're going to do, first of all, go to the second tab. You see, object manager. Go to this object manager. Then this is the list of all objects we have, right? Don't scroll it. Just type it. What object? I wanted hiring manager. I just have type HIR. That's enough. And I'm going to select this object hiring. Now we are into object manager. We are into object manager. And these are the option details of the object. What is the API name? It's a custom object. As this object has been enabled for reports and activities, that all three checkbox in the optional section. I told you always to check them, right? So these details deployed or in progress, everything, right? Everything. What is a plural label? Everything is available. Now, these are the sections. See, fields and relationships, page layout, everything. I'm going to talk about this as well, right? I'm going to talk about how easy is this? Any flow, any validation rule, any trigger, you can find out everything from here. Right now, let's stuck onto the topic. I wanted to create a new field. So I have clicked onto this. I've clicked onto this fields and relationship. There is a button called new. I would make a click over here. New button. Now see this interface and see this interface. Exactly same. Exactly same. You selected checkbox, let's say. You click onto the next button. This is classic. I landed onto this page. I selected checkbox. This is lightning. I click onto the next. Right? What is the difference? What is the difference? Difference is URL does not change. Whereas over here, URL has been changed. Let me show you this once again. I'm onto this page. I have selected checkbox. You concentrate over here. And I click onto the next button. So it has uploaded a page. Whereas in Lightning, everything is something which it is called as cached. So this whole page has already been inside in your cache memory of your browser. So when you were onto the previous page, although the interface seems to be, same in the Lightning and Classic, interface is same. The way it is loaded, the way it is presented is different. Understand? You cannot say this is absolutely same. For a general user, it is same. If you are a non-technical, you can say, it is same between Classic and Lightning. But you are a Salesforce developer. You cannot say like that. Interface appearance is same. The way it appeared over here and it appears over in the Classic. Yes, they are same. They are same. But the way it is loaded in the Classic and it is called in the Lightning is different. It's different. See, I have selected check. You just concentrate onto over here. I mean the whole, not just object manager, pura. And when I click onto this next button, see, everything is same. URL does not get changed. Means no pages has been loaded. Here, every time I click on something, one new page get loaded, even though I make a back and forth transaction. I go forward from this or I go backward. Every time one new page is getting loaded. Interface is same. But here in Lightning, it would not eventually load the page. This whole process, when you see, what I'm talking about is like, and the moment when you selected the object, let's say you selected the object here, here, and then you selected onto fields and relationship. And from there, when you, the movement, now Abhi, listen this carefully. When you click onto this new, whatever pages required, whatever interfaces required to create a new field, that everything already has been cached. That everything has been cached into your browser memory. And this is called as client-side scripting. This is called as client-side scripting. So Lightning uses a concept of client caching. And it is an intelligent software. When you click onto this new button, that new button to create a new custom field, when you have click onto that new button, it knows one thing, that whenever a new custom field is getting created, let's say it would require 4 different pages. On the first page, you have to select data type. On the first page, you have to select data type. On the second page, you have to give the names. You have to give the names. You have to give the name. On the third page, you would have to select about like profiles, on which profile you wanted make it to accessible. On the last page, you have to select the layout and you save it. Now there are 4 pages required to create a new. In the classic, what happens is every time, it would just load one page. It would just load one page. And as and when you click on next or previous, it would ask for another page, which would get load from server. So every time it was a server call. Every time it makes a server call. Every time it makes a server call. That means whatever is getting loaded, it would just load one page at a time, and every page, whether it's a fourth page or it's a back page or it's a fourth page, front page or back page, whatever you are asking for, every time it get loads from the server. Whereas in class, that happens in classic. By the way, in Lightning, there were 4 pages required for this to complete this whole process. All 4 pages are loaded into your cache memory at that instance itself. This makes the process fast. So interface looks like to be same, but that does not mean only the appearance is same. That does not mean it is working it in the way it works in the classic. Otherwise, what is the difference between, what is going to be the difference between classic and Lightning? Isn't it? अगर मैं सिर्फ ऐसा कह दूं यार फ्रंट एंड ही बदला है, अंदर का सब कुछ वैसा ही है, there is no meaning to use Lightning in that. See, if every time it is like, even the Lightning is also calling single pages every time from server, what is the meaning? Isn't it? सोचिए जरा सा इस बारे में. एक कॉमन इंसान अगर ऐसा बोलता है तो हम समझ सकते हैं कि डज नॉट हैव दैट आइडिया. अरे हमको ऐसा बोलने का अधिकार ही नहीं है. वी आर सेल्सफोर्स डेवलपर्स. अपीयरेंस सेम है बॉस, ताकि किसने लाइटनिंग क्लासिक में काफी साल से काम किया है वो भी आसानी से लाइटनिंग में काम कर सके. अपीयरेंस सेम है, बट द वे द फंक्शनैलिटी वाज वर्किंग इज टोटली डिफरेंट बिटवीन लाइटनिंग एंड क्लासिक. तो अब आप मेरे को बताओ, अगर आप लाइटनिंग जानते हो और आपको मैं बोलूं एक ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट करना, आप क्लासिक पे जाके करोगे? दोनों की इंटरफेस सेम है. आपको मैं बोलूं एक एप्लीकेशन नहीं, कस्टम ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट करना है, कस्टम फील्ड क्रिएट करना है, अपीयरेंस सेम है. आप क्लासिक पे जाओगे? नहीं. क्यों नहीं जाओ? बिकॉज ये फायदा है लाइटनिंग का कि अगर एक आप ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, उसको क्रिएट करने में 5 पेजेस लगते हैं. क्लासिक हर बार एक एक पेज मांगे, हर बार. दैट टू भी आगे अगर आपने पीछे गया तो भी वो पेज वो भी फिर से रीलोड करेगा. ऐसा नहीं कि ये पेज हमने पहले ला चुका है तो उसको रीलोड ना करें, नहीं, वैसा नहीं हो. लाइटनिंग ऐसा नहीं करता है. लाइटनिंग को पता 5 पेज लगने हैं इस पूरी प्रोसेस को निभाने में. सो वो सारे 5 के 5 पेज एक ही बार में आपकी कैश मेमोरी में करता है. अब जो भी चेंजेस हो रहे हैं वो आपकी कैश मेमोरी, ब्राउजर की जो कैश मेमोरी. आई होप थोड़ा सा ये पता हुआ ब्राउजर की कैश मेमोरी क्या होती है. ब्राउजर की कैश मेमोरी क्या होती है, यू कैन फाइंड इट फ्रॉम हियर. आप यहाँ से देख सकते हैं. या फिर यहाँ कहीं तो भी ऑप्शन है वेयर, मतलब मैं दूसरी जगह से दिखाना चाहता था. If you go to the taskbar and you can see this graph, right? You can see this graph. Now see, this is the memory, this memory, where you can see the 7.7 GB is available. It's a combination of SSD, RAM, and the cache. Do we have? Let me click onto this. यहाँ पे bifurcation रहता है. But at least, do you see one thing? Page pull P79 P80M. So this page pull is completely like, it's the memory which we utilize from the cache. Yeah, of course, yeah, there is a cache. 1.8 GB is a cache available in the system. Out of that 1.8 GB, 380 MB has already been pulled. It's already booked. Booked by whom? All of the application that is running in the backend. This is all application they are running in the backend. Means every application. Maybe that, but mostly it's always a browser. Mostly it's always a browser that pulls something called as page pull. Because browser ही वो होता है ना जहाँ websites display होती हैं, web pages display होते हैं. So this is, you can have a comparison. 1.8 is available as a cache memory in my system. Out of that, 381 MB has been booked. So now you could understand what I was trying to say. So this is a big difference between appearance could be same for few of the things, but that does not mean the way it is functioning, the way it is, functioning in the lightning is the same as your classic. No, it's not like. All right. This is a major difference. So this was about like how you can create the application and object and everything what's left. There are a lot of the things. For example, now this is an inside an object. Let's see. So I'll have or I shall fields. Okay. Now see, this is that interface. You have all the fields like standard and the custom. All right, the standard and the custom. Now, for example, you wanted to go to page layout. You want to go to the page. In the classic version, if you wanted to go to the page layout, you have to be on page first of all. Because if I would expand, if I would expand, I don't have that first of all, that option over here. Post.quick access menu, right? It is not over here. If you wanted to make editing into you wanted to edit onto the page layout, you first of all would have to be onto the page layout. Now you are onto the page layout. There are two page layout, edit and detail, right? So this is a detail page layout, by the way. You click on this edit, that time it would come to the edit layout. So that time you would going to see this option, and you can go to where edit layout. This option, I have told you, this option edit layout, this option to make the changes in the page layout. It does not appear when you are onto the tabs home. For example, on the tab home, if I would expand, you will see edit columns, not page layout. That was one thing. And like, validation rules, you can see, of course, you can see. And for example, I wanted to see how many triggers I have created on this hiring manager. Do I have any option over here? No, but I'll have to try it separately. Like how I'll have to go to this setup menu, and then I'll have to go to build, and then I'll have to go to develop, then Apex triggers, and it would eventually load a separate page, and there's all other triggers. But I cannot find it on the object level, obviously. If I'm onto the hiring manager tab, I cannot see how many triggers I have created. I wanted to find out like how many business automation, but in the classic, it was like workflows and process builder. In the lightning, it's only flows, lightning flows. So wo bhi nahi rahega, of course. You don't have any option directly to see how many business automation. You obviously have to follow the same process. Go to the setup menu, then go what you wanted to find. You wanted to find like workflows. So go to create, and go to the this workflows and approvals, and then click on the workflows or a process builder to list it out. Like this was like a bit lazy process, bit lengthy process, not lazy. It was a bit lengthy process. But see how these things you can find it onto the light. So on the lightning, I'm onto the object manager. I have selected an object called hiring manager. So I'll get the details of everything. If I want to make any changes of the layout, I can just click on to page layout. I'll see this. I make a click, and I'll definitely going to end up on the same interface which we have worked. The way we have worked. See, same interface. All right, same interface. You have seen this in the classic as well. You wanted to make in the changes in the lightning page, click onto the lightning record page. You want to make the changes, you wanted to add or remove certain buttons or an actions, you can do it like this. In the classic, you'll have to go to page layout for this. Compact layout, I am going to tell you what does it means by the compact layout. In the classic as well, this is available. This is available. Okay, you can take this as an homework. Compact layout, because it is available in classic as well. I can give you this in the homework. Compact layout, just try to find it out what does it means, right? How to make the changes in the compact layout. Just take this as an homework. Question number could be compact layout. What is a compact layout? How to work on that. In the classic as well, this is present. Record types. You can see all of the record types. Then you can see how many validation rules you have created over into the same interface. See this, we have one restricted position count. We guess we have created this for the one-to-one relationship, I guess. You can see how many flows you have created, how many business automation you have flows. In the lightning, the business automation is only a flow. You can see how many triggers you have created. Triggers in another form of business automation, but with the coding, customizable. You can see all those. So this is why, lightning interface are bit easy to use. And it's something like, you just find out everything on the same page. Don't have to migrate yourself from one page to another, for another to another, just to get the information, the related information. You don't have to migrate yourself to different places like you do in the classic. Lightning is relatively very easy. It's really very easy, believe me. All right. So that was about all the things related to object and your fields and everything. Now let me try to show you like how you can create reports. So there are two different ways to do that. I can directly make you available. Let's go to that application. We have a tab over there. So I'm migrating myself to that application. In that application, we have a tab, reports. Just click onto this. It would listed out all of the reports which you have seen. Like you have created a tabular report, you have created summary report, right? You might have created a few other reports as well, but they are not listed out. They are not listed out. All folders. HR management report was, yeah, now it is being, oh, it was, I was on to the recent, sorry. I was on to the recent, that's why it has not been listed out. Now, what I did is like, first of all, I go to the all folders. Then we have created a custom folder, HR management reports. If you remember, these all are the reports that we have. You wanted to see any one of them, just make a click. You will going to see the report. You would going to see the report. So this is a tabular report. And obviously, very obviously, you can also observe the appearance is different. If the same report, if I would open this in classic, the way it is listed out in the classic, sure. Tabular report use case number 1. So the way it is being, the way it is displayed, the way it appears on the classic is a bit different. The way it appears in the lightning. So appearance, of course, is different. Appearance, of course, is different. All right. So you can, if you want to make any editing, you can definitely go with this button. Field editing is enabled, and then edit. And then you can make the changes wherever you want it, right? Wherever you want it. This is again different. Like, here, if I click on to customize, the way you make changes, the way it looks like over here, that customizable page and the way it looks like over here is obviously different, but that's the working is slightly same. So for example, these all are the present columns. These are the present columns which are now on the report. If you wanted to remove any one of them, you can either do it from, like, you can click, you can remove the column obviously, or you can do it from here as well. You can just cross and refresh and update automatically. I just enable that so that it would update automatically this report. So this is one way. Now you wanted to add the column. If you wanted to add the column, so how to do that? How to do that? Yes. You click over here, it would list out all of the fields. Fields are column, you know that. So if I wanted to add, let's say, billing city, I have selected. So now this has been refreshed automatically because I have checked this. And now you might see that billing city has been added, right? Billing city. So this is the way, by the way, and you can save and run. You can save, you can run, you can close. You can do this. This is what how you edit a report. Now let me show you how you can create a report. All right. Same are the interfaces. Go to the home tab, click onto the new report or a new folder. Here it was, the folder creation was little bit tricky that time. So if you remember, like, those, if you remember how to do that. So here that this was a very small icon over here. You have to click to make a new report folder or a new dashboard folder. But here there is a direct button for that. Now, new report, it would eventually ask you what type of report or a report type you wanted to create it. Select a report type for that, accounts along with the contact or whatever. If you don't find a particular record type over here, you can simply click on other reports. Other reports would give you all this list, all this list. For example, hiring manager with senior HRs. This is same, what to say, a lookup relationship which we have created with the hiring manager, right? Or it was same like you can select account and contacts. So it would display all of the reports which could be created on account and contact. Simple on account, simple on contact. If you just wanted to get on accounts, contacts, you don't have that option, right? You don't have that option. What you can do, you can select with the contact and account and just select the fields of contact. Although when you select this, what I'm saying, start report. And this happens in Classic as well, don't worry. And here you have the fields of accounts as well as contact. You can remove the fields of accounts over here and you just have the fields of contact. It eventually becomes a report on contact, right? This is just an, what to say, a presence of mind, right? So that's how you can run the report. You can create a new report and all that. All right. Now let me go to the dashboards. So dashboards, if I would click onto all dashboards. I guess we have created few dashboards over here as well. Let me add one column, or I guess I can go to the new dashboard. No, I wanted to see all the dashboards, so I'll just add one more tab over here. Dashboards. So see, this is one of the dashboard that we have created. No. But when I go to Lightning particularly, this is an example. Now, see, observe this dashboard. It is actually same. The way it appears in the Classic and the way it appears on the Lightning is different. You have gauge chart. This is funnel chart. This is pie chart, horizontal and vertical bar charts. See, how does it looks over here? A same component of chart like gauge chart, funnel, line chart, pie chart, and this one is horizontal bar chart. So that I was trying to say, like, the appearance of dashboard is different. Although you can use the same dashboard in the Classic and Lightning, but the way it appears on Classic and it looks in the Lightning is different. Is pretty different, right? So this is, and yes, of course, you can create your new dashboards from here if you wanted. You can create the new dashboards as well. All right, new dashboard. There is an option you can see new dashboard. You can definitely create this, and you know how to create that. Now that was about dashboards. Reports analytics has been covered. Now let's come to security. And I'm keeping this open for your, you have to explore the Lightning. Try to work from this onward. This onward, just try to work on Lightning. You have a choice, but try to work on Lightning. Everything, whatever you are doing, just try to do it on the Lightning. If you don't get it, just come back to the class. No problem. But gradually, Gradually try to adapt the lightning as early as possible. So let's say I wanted to work on security settings and everything. What do you do usually over here? You go to the setup menu and you go to the administrator menu. Over here, you mostly have all those security settings. For example, you go to security controls and then you would click onto the sharing settings to go to the OWD, right? So you will get the OWD, right? Same thing, example. Now I wanted to access the OWD. What I'm going to do, gear icon, setup, and then setup. And here you just type sharing settings, right? Just type the sharing settings. You would going to see same interface. But the way it works in classic and it works in lightning is different, right? This is what. Rest every other option is same. You wanted to access profiles. Here, what you have to do, you'll have to go to this manage users and expand it. You would going to see the users, roles, permission set and profiles. Here you have to do it like this. Here you want it, just go and type profile. You would end up with this, right? Internal interfaces are same. See, I'll click onto this profile. It's same. If you click onto this over here, the profile, it would same. But what will happen at here? You select here select one thing. It would load it every time a single page. Here everything would be loaded in the cache memory at the same time. And next time, whenever you are accessing, it is not coming from the server. It would rather come from your cache memory, right? You wanted to access for the rules or maybe a user. What you can do is like you can click on the user. You'll get the list of all user management settings, user. See, there's every option. It's almost same. Profile, roles. Like over here, what you see, user, these options. The options have removed because they are not available in Lightning. But these are the options. Users, public groups, queues, roles, everything. So internal interfaces and the functionality, what we have learned, that everything is same. There's no difference in security part. There's no difference. Every page is even same. Every page is even same. Like you have all these custom profiles. Like I have clicked one of them because custom profiles are 100% customizable. You know that, right? And this page is same, absolutely same. If I would make a click over here as well. Okay. Yeah. It's the 208 standard user. That was a custom profile which we have created. ये तीन है custom market sales support, read only RHR. I guess it has been renamed by, I don't know. RHR standard use. अच्छा हाँ ये 206 batch है of course. So in 206 batch, it was not 208 custom. It was RHR, I guess. Anyways, so see this interface. See this interface. I was getting confused. Right. So like this interface I was talking about, right? Here you would going to find the same thing. See, same thing. If you would click onto this, you would click onto this. This opens like here as well. Here as well. Click onto this. It would eventually open kind of same interface, right? So security pages internally, they haven't changed. And every option, what you have, how you have find in classic is the same, is appear to be the same in the light. Only is like, how you navigate yourself. So quick find is that where you can simply type and get to the things very quickly. You don't have to navigate. You don't have to remember the navigation in Lightning. You just have to use quick finder. Let me think if anything other is left. Lightning flows I'm going to take in the next weekend. Flows in the next Sunday. We're going to learn flows. If there is anything left which I wanted to explain. I don't think so. If something comes into the mind, that I'm going to have this discussion in the between. No worries. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. चलो. So that's all. That's all for today. Try to make yourself comfortable in the Lightning. So from this onward, whatever you are working for, just try to work it on Lightning experience rather than the classic, right? Try to implement it. So all depends on your practice, guys. This is obviously is about your practice, how The more you practice, the more you become familiar with this one. All right. This is all about the lightning experience. Yes. Any questions from your side? Please go ahead. Any questions? Any question? Anybody want to ask? Anybody want to know or discuss on anything? Any questions? All right then. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.